Imagine you're peacefully sleeping in your bed, cozy and warm, dreaming about life, love, and laughter. Then, suddenly you wake up. You open your eyes, stretch, and yawn, then begin to get ready for the day. But as you go about your morning routine, you start to notice strange things around you. The wallpaper in your bedroom is a different shade of blue than you remember. And when you walk into the kitchen, you find that the coffee machine is now a vibrant pink. Confused and disoriented, you try to call your best friend, but when he picks up the phone, he sounds confused and asks, "Who is this?" Even more frightened, you rush to the mirror, hoping to find some answers. But staring back at you is a stranger, someone you don't know. It's your face, yet it isn't. Your eyes are a different color. Your hair is longer. You don't recognize yourself. Panicked, you try to convince yourself that this is all just a bad dream. Maybe if you close your eyes and sleeps, you'll wake up in your own reality again. But when you open your eyes again, the nightmare continues. This time, the clock on the wall says June 24th, 2023. But the newspaper on the floor has today's date, October 26, 2023. So how can today be both June and October at the same time? What you're experiencing is known as a glitch in the matrix, a moment when the very fabric of reality seems to tear itself apart. In our everyday lives, we often take for granted the stability of our. We assume that the world we know will remain constant, that the laws of physics won't suddenly change, and that the people around us will stay the same. However, glitches in the matrix moments like these serve as a reminder that reality is not always what it seems. They challenge our perception and force us to question the very nature of our existence. Some believe that these experiences can provide glimpses into alternate universes or parallel dimensions. Whatever the truth may be, these glitches remain a source of fascination and mystery, leaving us to wonder about the true nature of our reality. Welcome to my channel. Today, I am going to tell you the story of a man who woke up in a different reality every single day. Everything seemed normal until he noticed subtle, eerie differences. His house was a different color, his best friend didn't recognize him, and even his own memories didn't match reality. Every night he would fall asleep in one universe and wake up in another. Was it a glitch in reality, a government experiment, or something far beyond human understanding? What if someone was trapped in an endless cycle of shifting realities with no way back? Let's dive into the mind-bending mystery. He felt fine, but something wasn't right. His internal alarm clock, usually so precise, was off by a few hours. He could feel it deep down, a discrepancy between his internal rhythm and the world outside. At first glance, everything appeared normal. The toast popped up perfectly golden-eyed, the sun streamed through the window at just the right angle, and the birds sang their cheerful morning song. Yet there was a subtle dissonance, a discordant note that echoed in the symphony of his daily life. The sky was blue, but it was a different blue than he remembered. The wallpaper was white, but it was a different shade of white. And the face staring back at him from the mirror was his. Yet it was as if he were seeing himself for the first time. He couldn't quite place it, but something was amiss. It was like living in a slightly off-tuned world. A world that was almost, but not quite, his own. The hairs on the back of his neck stood up. A sense of unease crept over him. It felt as if he had woken up not just in a new day, but in a new reality. He tried to shake off the feeling, attributing it to a restless night's sleep, or perhaps a figment of his imagination. After all, how could anything have changed? He lived in a small town, his life a predictable routine, punctuated by the familiar faces of friends and neighbors. But as the day wore on, the inconsistencies grew. His best friend, when he met him at their usual coffee shop, looked at him with a mixture of confusion and curiosity. "Are you sure you're okay? You look different," he asked, his brow furrowed with concern. He knew he looked different, but to hear it aloud, to see the genuine worry etched on his friend's face, it amplified his own confusion. He forced a smile, hoping to dispel the growing unease. "I'm fine, just a bit tired. I think I need a cup of coffee," he said, trying to sound casual, trying to convince himself. But as the caffeine hit his system, instead of feeling more awake, he felt more disoriented. The days that followed were a blur of strangeness. Every morning he would wake up to a new version of reality, each more bizarre and terrifying than the last. In one iteration, he found himself speaking a language he had never learned. In another, the laws of physics seemed to be different. Gravity, weaker. Shadows deeper. In yet another, the faces of his loved ones were twisted into grotesque parodies of their former selves. Each morning brought with it a different horror, a different puzzle to solve, a different set of circumstances to navigate. And each night he would sleep, hoping to wake up in his own reality again, only to wake up to a new and even more disturbing version of a world that was not his. The psychological toll was immense. He found himself questioning his own sanity. Was he going crazy? Was he having some sort of psychotic break? Or was there something more, something beyond his understanding? The fear of waking up to another altered reality each morning became a torment. Each night's sleep was a gamble, a roll of the dice that determined what horrors he would face the next day. The constant uncertainty, the lack of control, it chipped away at his mental fortitude. Sleep became a curse, a portal to unknown and terrifying landscapes. The joy of living, the beauty of each new sunrise was replaced by a paralyzing fear of what might be. The mundane aspects of life, once sources of comfort, now seemed alien and unsettling. The taste of his morning coffee, the feel of the sun on his skin, the sound of bird song, all of it carried with it a sense of foreboding. He found himself yearning for the simplicity of his old life, even with its predictability, even with its monotony. Anything, he thought, to escape this waking nightmare. But as he navigated through these terrifying landscapes, he began to notice patterns, to see recurring themes across the different realities. Each world, though nightmarish, had its own logic. Each iteration of himself knew things he had never known in his original timeline. And in one terrifying realization, he understood that he was not just waking up in different realities, he was becoming them. In a horrifying twist of fate, he discovered that each iteration of himself was slowly replacing the original, taking on the memories, the experiences, and even the physical traits of the versions he was waking up as. Faced with this horrifying prospect, he resolved to find a way out. He scoured the altered landscapes for clues, searching for a way to undo this terrifying process, to reclaim his original timeline, to become who he was meant to be. But as he delved deeper into the mystery, he uncovered a horrifying truth. The versions of himself he had been waking up as were not just alternate realities, they were echoes of his own soul fragmented across the multiverse. And the process he was undergoing was not a glitch in the matrix. It was a terrifying journey towards his own annihilation. As the lines between realities blurred and the faces of loved ones twisted into grotesque he was forced to confront a terrifying truth. He was not just trapped in a shifting multiverse, he was becoming the very nightmares he was facing. The once familiar streets of his hometown morphed into alien landscapes, each more hostile than the last. The comforting routines of his life turned into terrifying trials. And the people he held dear became twisted reflections of themselves. As he stumbled through these nightmarish scenarios, desperate to find a way back to his original reality, he began to notice a pattern in the chaos. Each new version of reality was somehow connected to his own, like fragments of a shattered mirror reflecting a distorted version of his life. And then it hit him. He wasn't just waking up in different realities, he was becoming them. In one reality, he was a renowned scientist on the brink of a groundbreaking discovery. In another, he was a celebrated artist whose paintings had become world famous. In yet another, he was a world traveler, fluent in multiple languages, his passport stamped with visas from around the globe. Each iteration of himself seemed to possess a heightened version of his own skills and talents, as if the multiverse was testing him, pushing him to his limits. But with these gifts came a heavy burden. He found himself grappling with the complexities of lives he never lived, the responsibilities of skills he never honed. And as he struggled to adapt, he realized that the multiverse was not just testing him, it was consuming him. The longer he remained in each reality, the more his essence was tied to it, making it harder to leave and return to his own timeline. He was becoming the very realities he was inhabiting, losing his identity in the process. Desperate to break free, he sought out others who might understand what he was going through, reaching out to scientists, philosophers, anyone who could offer an explanation, anyone who could help him find a way back. But the more he shared his experience, the more he realized that he was alone in this nightmare. No one else seemed to be affected. No one else seemed to remember the realities he was visiting. And as he grappled with his fate, he uncovered a terrifying truth. The multiverse was not just a series of alternate realities. It was a vast, unfathomable realm of infinite possibilities. A realm where everything that could happen, did happen. And he was not just trapped in this realm. He was becoming a part of it, his consciousness being stretched and pulled, fragmented across the infinite time. As the boundaries between realities continued to blur, he found himself at a crossroads. Should he continue to fight, to cling to his original timeline, or should he surrender to the multiverse, embracing the infinite possibilities that lay before him? The decision, he knew, would change everything, not just for him, but for all of existence. Because in the end, he realized that he was not just a man trapped in a multiverse. He was a key to its very existence, a nexus point where infinite realities converged. And as he grappled with his destiny, he uncovered a terrifying truth. The multiverse was not just a boundless realm of possibilities, it was a prison for the souls of those who dared to explore its depths. And he was not just a prisoner, he was the key to its very existence. If you enjoyed this thrilling tale, do you forget to subscribe and join me on my channel for more captivating stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Thank you for watching.